This is a matter we take incredibly seriously. I'd like to announce that Secretary Blinken will be traveling to Israel in the coming days to engage our Israeli partners directly about the situation on the ground and how we can continue to best support them in their fight against the terrorists who launched these horrific attacks. Our expectation is that we will leave tomorrow and arrive in Israel on Thursday. There are, the last number I had before coming out here was that there are 20 Americans who remain unaccounted for. We don't have definitive information, but we do believe it's likely that there may be hostages who are U.S. citizens who are held in Gaza. I would like to begin by reiterating our condolences to the families of those who were killed by Hamas terrorist attacks against Israel, including the 14 American citizens who we know have died. The department is actively engaging with the families of those U.S. citizens. None of us can imagine the grief that they are feeling today, and we are doing everything we can in our power to offer them all appropriate consular assistance. I also want to talk about Secretary Blinken's efforts over the past 4 days since Hamas launched its initial terrorist attacks against Israel, which have been focused on 3 key priorities. First and foremost, the Secretary has been engaged with our Israeli partners to ensure that Israel has everything that it needs to defend itself. Both President Biden and Secretary Blinken have made clear that we stand ready to offer all appropriate means of support to the government and people of Israel. The first tranche of security assistance is on its way and will arrive in the coming days, and more will follow. Second, the Secretary has been working the phones with his foreign counterparts to ensure that anyone who has lines of communication with parties hostile to Israel should use those channels to say that now is not the time to take advantage of this situation. The President has made that point clearly and forcefully, and is one that Secretary Blinken has reiterated in his calls with leaders in the region. Third, the Secretary has been intensely focused on securing the release of all hostages held in Gaza. There are a number of countries who have the ability to deliver messages to Hamas, and we have made clear to those countries that they should urge Hamas to release all hostages immediately. This is a matter we take incredibly seriously. Finally, I'd like to announce that Secretary Blinken will be traveling to Israel in the coming days to engage our Israeli partners directly about the situation on the ground and how we can continue to best support them in their fight against the terrorists who launched these horrific attacks. Our support for Israel is unwavering, and the Secretary looks forward to meeting with senior leaders in the Israeli government and continuing the discussions he and the President have been having with them since the initial attacks on Saturday. And with that, Matt.
In the coming days, you want to be more specific?
Our expectation is that we will leave tomorrow and arrive in Israel on Thursday.
Okay, and is he going to go anywhere else?
I don't have announcements to make. This is a trip we're still putting together at the time, but we'll may have further announcements on that later this afternoon.
All right, and then so Jake Sullivan at the White House just said there are roughly 20 Americans missing.
That's correct. There are, the last number I had before coming out here was that there are 20 Americans who remain unaccounted for. That's a number that has been moving around over the last few days. You have one number, and then some of the people who are unaccounted for, unfortunately, you discover are actually deceased, or then some may turn up, but right now the number that we're tracking is 20.
And you have no idea of those 20, how many of their how many of them do their families believe that they are actually being held?
We don't have definitive information, but we do believe it's likely that there may be hostages who are U.S. citizens who are held in Gaza. Go ahead. We'll start and then go
I'll
over.
just be brief, but can you just explain a little bit more what the Secretary's message will be? You said he wants to confer with people, but will it be a message of solidarity? Will he discuss in depth the conflict and the maneuvers the actions that Israel is taking now?
It will be a message of solidarity and support. He, of course, wants to hear from the leaders of Israel, hear from them directly about the situation they're facing, hear from them directly about what they need and how we can best support them, and then to send a message to the government of Israel and the people of Israel that we are there to support them as they fight against these brutal terrorist attacks, and to talk about what additional assistance we can provide them.